this could end in any sort of way that could cause real harm or hazard to the people who live near this area. So just something to keep in mind. Billings Avenue now heading eastbound, it would appear. Chris, what do you see up ahead?
Yeah, just looking out here, I mean, he's basically weaving through this neighborhood at a pretty slow rate of speed here, not going
This bot is
exceptionally
not doing
fast,
what I
not
need it to do.
driving too erratically, going over these speed bumps at a very
There
slow
we go.
pace, slowing down for the stop signs even. So the driving is fairly composed here. What is most interesting is the charges that must have really stacked up, or the severity of the crimes
Armed
that they are looking
suspect.
at here to dedicate these resources. At one point on the freeway, on a very
Usually
busy
means
Friday
they are not
afternoon,
giving up.
They had the opportunity to fall back and put this into tracking mode. The helicopter arrived, and they gave the option to that helicopter right there, flying through the shot. But the incident commander said, no, let's keep on this one. This person must be taken off. So they're going to keep the pressure
What's up,
on
Gucci
here.
and Whimsical
the
and
pursuit
Knox?
is on. They are fully engaged with this suspect, and now at these slower speeds, even less of a reason to let this go, especially considering
RZ,
that this
what's
person
up?
is believed to be armed. So we don't know what those other
Yeah, this
crimes
isn't
are
gonna
or
go
what
on
the
very
original
long, is it?
charges were, but serious enough to warrant this type of dedication. Again, at least 8 units following this suspect through this neighborhood now on Mettler Avenue, just off of Victoria
Yo,
Street. doing
Bendo,
a
what's up?
circle now around this
Task,
neighborhood.
how you
This'll be
doing?
interesting.
Sasha,
We're
what's
always
up?
looking for these patterns, especially on narrow surface streets like this, because if they can manage to set up ahead of the suspect, which will be, it's always a challenge.
All right, I'm
going to
run the prediction
those
on
are the
Twitch.
opportunities you look for to maybe give the go-ahead for a spike strip that you could lay down across a narrow street and try and knock out one or more of those tires. You're getting a better
King
look
Ed
in
and
here
Pillbilly,
into that
what's
rear
up?
seat.
Grand
And I
Poobah.
got to tell you, I see a reflection in the back seat, but unable to determine. Looks
I
like
don't
it's
think
just
there's
a
another
reflection.
person in there. I think it's
Again,
just him.
So far, just the driver, heavy-set male, it looks like, in the driver's seat there. Again, driving relatively slowly, I would say even below the speed limits here. Coming
Yo,
to a
Socket,
full
what's up?
stop as he makes his way onto Wall Street. This is going to be Wall
Okay,
Street.
at least we're getting on like a regular
Making the
road
left turn
now.
with him, coming to a full stop before he made the turn there. And
Okay.
again,
Maybe we got a
just kind
shot.
of
Hold on, we'll be right
meandering
back.
through this neighborhood without any clear destination in mind. You know, seeing him kind of randomly make those turns and doing a circle around that block already is a dead giveaway that, you know, time is really on the side of officers here. They really get the impression that that driver does not have a clear destination in mind. These all appear to be relatively random turns as he kind of goes through this neighborhood. Now pulling onto Main Street, a much busier
Mastercrafter,
street,
what's up?
paralleling the 110 freeway here. Let's see if he makes an attempt to get back on the freeway. Again, this all started, I believe, in LAPD's
Guys, use your
Harbor
damn
Division.
channel points. What do we got
And,
going
those
on
are the
here?
units that you see here that have made their way up the 110 freeway, off the 91 freeway, onto surface streets, where we now find ourselves northbound on Main Street. Again, that LAPD airship with clear eyes on that suspect. And again,
Clear
while we
eyes,
can't
full
see
hearts.
what's going on inside the vehicle, or especially in that back seat, in case there is anybody back there, that helicopter does have the ability to get a better sense of what they're dealing with inside that vehicle, despite the fact that you could see
Oh,
just from
Jamie,
this
what's
shot
up?
alone, just how darkly those windows are tinted. Now making a right turn onto Albertoni Street, another street that he was on just a short time ago before we came onto the air. So he was on Main Street, got off on Albertoni Street, and has done a complete
He is
loop
not
around
near
this
that
quarter-mile
spot that we
area
saw the
after
guy
kind
go
of
last
zigzagging
night. He's
through that
nowhere near it,
residential
so
neighborhood.
good for us.
Now he is back on Albertoni, just off of Main Street, traveling in the eastbound direction, where he will come up on an entrance ramp to
Okay, we're getting on the
91
freeway.
And sure enough, here we
For
are
those of us
getting
who
back
want this
onto the
chase to go on
freeway,
for a little
where
bit,
there
that's a
was
great
already
development.
consideration of handing this off to the California
But it
Highway
feels like
Patrol. We'll
he's
see
got no
if there is
plan
any
because he was
hint
just
of
driving around a little
CHP
neighborhood.
getting
Now he's on the
involved here.
freeway.
Right now,
Like,
this
this is,
LAPD's pursuit.
he's not going
LAPD
anywhere.
on the tail of this suspect
What's up,
as they now
Sentinels?
enter the freeway.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say they are entering the freeway, and of course, as many of our pursuits go, the freeway is sort of light, especially on a Friday evening, which is pretty remarkable. But also, Chris,
Nash B, what's up?
highlighted the windows are very tinted. I'm wondering if that's what initiated this, maybe a routine traffic stop from authorities, and then all of a sudden they ran the plates.
Man,
and
all
they
the
realized
chases
that
have
somebody
really
associated
cars
this
with really
vehicle
tinted
may
windows.
be, needing to be pulled over. And that's when the person started.
Yeah,
to
skier kid.
begin
I
this
know,
pursuit.
man. Welcome and thank you.
That kind of matches
Yeah,
up with my
it's,
suspicion here. It's
you
one
know.
of two things. Either they track that license plate down to that suspect, or maybe they were already surveilling the suspect, and then the
We've had
person started
chases
running
like
through. But now you
4
see,
nights in a
as
row
he
now,
encounters much heavier traffic,
and every
we have
night
a
they've
little
been
bit of a break
super
there, but now
super
the
short.
traffic is really increasing, a lot more
So this
volume
is
on the
this
91
is
freeway
we're
here
already
at
doing
Central
better.
Avenue, even using that shoulder to get around a lot of this traffic, but still
We're
coming into the
already
freeway,
5.5
into that right
minutes in,
lane.
and the chase
If he
hasn't
continues to
ended.
encounter
So
traffic, don't be surprised
we're doing
if he
great.
takes one of these exit ramps to get off of the freeway. In fact, he may be approaching an exit right here as he hugs that right lane, maybe even jumping onto the shoulder.
Yeah,
He's already done
PlayStation
that
gonna
once,
have
and
to
you can
wait.
see all of those units now traveling at a relatively, moderate pace here. He's not really racing anybody.
It's a lot of
He
traffic.
is indeed getting off, though, just as we suspected, getting off at Central Avenue, up on the dirt, trying to
All right,
use that
Escape, you're
embankment
right.
to get around some of this traffic here. A narrow shoulder as he comes up to a red light here off the nose. Let's see, he starts to speed up a little bit, trying to get around some of this traffic. All of those black and whites making the
1 a.m. chase
making the
wasn't any
move
good,
with him
Shinji.
here
It wasn't good.
At about 30 miles per hour, because he is just forced to come down to a slow
I've seen
stop
Tesla
here
chases
at this
before, a
red
couple
light
of
just
them.
off the nose. You can see
I'm
just
surprised
off
there
there's
haven't been more. There's a
whole
lot of
other
Teslas out there
traffic
these
jam
days.
at the end of the exit ramp off the
Oh,
91
no.
freeway at Central. Now getting into a parking lot here. You can see this appears to be a gas station. He's now traveling through this parking lot. He's probably going to use it as a way to cut through here. Doubt he's going to stop for a tank of gas, because that's not going to work out. He has a ton
Tom, is this your
of
birthday?
eyes on him, guys. A whole lot of units behind him. He's got units triangulating in front of him, and the LAPD airship up above.
Hunt,
They
he's
are
actually
not
going too
to
slow
let
for
this
the
one
pit
go.
maneuver. But also,
Again,
they need to
can't
get
wait
that
to find out
approved.
what the
It
actual
it
charges are
depends
here, but at the
oftentimes on
very
things
least,
that we don't
they
quite
are
know
working
about.
under the strong
But
presumption,
when they think it's an armed
maybe even
suspect, they
confirmation
tend to
that there
not
is
do
a
that as
weapon
much.
inside that vehicle.
And he's running into the same kind of problems that so many of us run into. You get off the freeway to try to avoid traffic, and you run into traffic on surface streets, too.
Yo, Totally
And then
Mega,
he's
what's
trying
up?
to get around that and doing his best to do that. Luckily, for everybody involved here, we're not talking about extreme speeds. We're not
And
seeing
Bones,
a
how
lot of
you
erratic
doing?
driving. Nonetheless, there is an implied danger here with the belief that this suspect may, in fact, be armed. It looks like he's taken that right turn, going to head him back westbound on on Victoria Street.
Because with the
rather.
pit
Central,
move,
I
they're
think, is
trying to
north-south,
stall
so
the
you'd be going,
engine.
Victoria
And
Street,
if the car's not
heading
going very
westbound.
fast,
This
even if
is,
they're
still
able
the
to
Carson
spin
area,
it, it's
correct?
usually not going to stall
Yeah,
the
still
engine.
in the Carson
So then you
area,
just kind of flip their
continuing
car
westbound.
around and they're
And
driving
at
the
these
other
speeds,
direction.
guys, I have to believe that they're going to probably, if they have the opportunity and enough empty roadway to play with, they will probably give the go-ahead for
There you go.
a pit maneuver. But
There you
right
go.
now, at
Maybe.
these speeds, they're just going to continue at this slow pace, as you can see here, even keeping a little bit of a distance. That
Hey,
primary
Shy Girl,
unit
what's
is
up?
about 8 or 10 car lengths behind him, and they're just kind of traveling at these safe speeds with him. As you mentioned, Mark, he's not posing an immediate danger in the sense that we haven't seen terribly dangerous or erratic driving. And at these speeds, they can keep this a relatively low-risk pursuit and just wait for him to run out of gas.
As they always say,
or
time is on
head
the
some other
police's
way.
side.
Hopefully, he'll just give up willingly and
Yo,
come
Clear
to a
Joker,
stop,
what's up?
decide that, you know what, time is up. But right now, at these speeds, we could call it a joyride because he doesn't seem to be.
Yeah, he's too random for spike strips. They don't know where the hell he's
doesn't seem
going.
to be, trying
They
very
need to have a
hard to get away,
decent,
let's say.
like, idea.
See, this is Ellen Leva along
Because
with
if you
David
try to
Elliott.
do it
You're
on a
watching
road like
Eyewitness
this,
News at 6
he's
o'clock.
just
We've
going to
been
see
watching
it
this
coming.
pursuit. It started
If they're
about 15 minutes
2
ago.
blocks ahead of him,
And
they're
this
trying
is
to
a
get
pursuit
ahead of
an
it right
armed
here.
suspect, and
He's
we
going to
have Chris
see it
Christie on
coming.
board in Air 7 HD. I'm sorry, just Air
So
7.
it's tough to do
everything's
unless
HD
somebody,
these days.
like,
But
doing
yeah, Chris,
some
we've been watching this
pattern
guy,
that
and
makes
he
sense.
seems to be driving within some of the rules. He's not driving
Oh, Harry,
too
what's up?
erratically.
Yeah, I don't even think
Is
he's
the
even
car
run
hood
a
bent
red
out?
light
No,
as
I
far
think
as we've
that's
been
how it's
watching here. He's
designed.
definitely encountering a lot of traffic, but he's driving
Hey,
fairly cautiously.
hey, Curtis,
We are
welcome.
getting a
It
little
is
more
in
information now. Apparently, he
Southern
is a
California,
known gang
basically
member. Now,
Los
look at
Angeles. I
this.
don't think
All
we're
of
in the
those
city of
units
Los Angeles,
have been
though.
called off. They are now taking a hands-off approach,
Okay,
letting
they
that
stopped.
helicopter call out the location. So for the time being, they're suspending
Tracking
this
mode now.
pursuit, putting this in tracking mode, and they're going to continue to follow his whereabouts from the air remotely without those units behind him. Now, if the driving changes, you could bet your bottom dollar we're going to see them re-engage this pursuit. They've already had opportunities to put this into tracking mode previously, and they decided against it. Now, they have fallen back. Let's see how his
Usually if there was a
changes as we make our way
violent
through the
crime
streets of
committed, they
Carson
won't
here. He's
back
now
off.
back
But all they're
again
saying is
onto
armed
Albert
suspect.
Tony Street. This
You
is
got to
now
keep
the
in
third
mind.
time
Oh yeah,
we have
5+
been in
car,
that
good call.
same
You got to
exact
keep in
area
mind they
just
don't
to the
know
east
much.
of Main Street
Right,
along
so
Albert
if they
Tony
heard
Street. He's
something
done
on
an
the scanner
entire
about
loop
armed
around this
suspect,
neighborhood,
whatever,
a
the
full
person may be
2 or
armed,
3
shit
times
like
around.
that,
Look
that's
at
the type of
this,
stuff
a
that
random U-turn back towards
the
freeway
news
on
is going to
Albert
put
Tony,
on their
heading
screen.
back towards Main
So,
Street, back towards the 110
who knows
freeway.
if the guy's
So
armed? Who knows what he
the
actually
behavior
did?
and the
Who
driving
knows?
is unpredictable, but still relatively safe. Not driving
That
terribly
guy, what's
erratic,
up?
but
And
still,
JT, how you doing?
that airship is overhead, watching his each and every move, despite the fact
RBX,
that
they
those
said he's a
ground units
gang
have now
member?
pulled back considerably.
Yeah, a really good look at that driver there when you can see through that front windshield, part of the problem, as well as the moonroof. But part of the problem is those tinted windows all around the vehicle. We can't see if there's anybody else in there. And as you reported earlier, Chris, somebody did jump out of that vehicle just prior to us joining
Really?
this pursuit. There is that possibility
Somebody
that
jumped
else
out?
could be there. Nevertheless, he is abiding by the rules, and we are told
Okay, so a
that
passenger
this
got
may
out
be
in this
an
one.
armed suspect, which is part of the great concern, and he had so many units after him, behind him, while he was going through there.
Yeah, close call there. Yeah, he is believed to be armed and a known gang member
There
at
you go.
that, which leads me to maybe believe that perhaps these were gang units that were tracking the suspect, and then the suspect took off. But in any
Maybe.
event, we find ourselves now tracking
Could fit the whole
this,
Scent Mafia in that car, basically.
This known gang member through the streets here without any police behind him, and the driving, again, just a casual joyride through the streets of Carson here. Once again,
It looks like a
back on Main
Mercedes,
Street
is it?
at Albert
It does,
Tony.
like it did
So
look like that. I
this
think
is
you're
now
right.
the 4th time that we have been at this exact same
I don't know what
intersection,
particular
and
model
now
that is, 'cause it
he's
looks
coming
like
up
a
with another
station wagon
opportunity to get
almost,
on the
but I
freeway,
think it is a
bypassing
Mercedes.
The freeway there. You saw he went underneath the 91 freeway, is now continuing northbound on Main Street, where there are many more opportunities to turn left and get onto the 110 freeway, or he could take this straight up north along Main Street. Fortunately, this is a very industrial part of town here as he continues northbound on Main Street. So if there
You think it's
were
a
units
Lexus?
behind him, it's a perfect opportunity. To
I thought I
either
saw
set
the
up for a spike
Mercedes
strip
thing
or a
on the
pit
front,
maneuver,
but
right
you
now,
say it's a
again, they have
Pontiac?
fallen back with a known
Are you
gang
serious?
member traveling northbound on Main Street. We'll see if that
Mercedes
decision-making
station wagon.
changes here.
Okay,
despite
I
the
think
fact
that's
that
what
they
it
do
is.
have eyes
I thought I saw the
up
little
above
Mercedes
following
thing on the front.
suspect.
Yeah, they've had opportunities to do the spike strip when they were in those smaller residential streets, and now we're
Yo,
in
what's
the
up,
Gardena area,
Vic?
Turning left on looks like 168th Street.
Yeah, left on Main Street.
On Main
And guess
Street.
what, guys? That LAPD helicopter has just
Is that his
wheeled off.
phone? What is he
So,
doing?
LAPD's airship
What?
now heading somewhere else, maybe with other police business.
No way.
Who knows? And those ground units
They're leaving.
have fallen back.
They're going to give
completely.
up.
And so this joyride
It-
will
it-
continue without
I
any
don't know that we're
pressure
going to get to
whatsoever.
15 minutes,
And
guys. I think they gave up.
you know, I mean,
But they
you
often
can
come
never get
back.
into the mind of you know, how these decisions are being made. Maybe the female that jumped out of the vehicle was the primary target. You never know, but that's certainly a possibility. They were discussing an armed female in the early stages of this pursuit, and when that female jumped out, maybe just maybe, that might be their priority. But in any event, the man behind the wheel of this Mercedes is by himself without any law enforcement above or behind. So for now, the pursuit is over, and we will continue to track it.
Okay.
Back over to you, unless anything changes.
All right,
Oh,
Chris,
no.
keep an eye on this. We're going to break away from this pursuit, a very interesting pursuit. We'll try to get some answers on that. Nevertheless, we have more news that we want to get to right now.
I don't think there's any other news stations there, guys. I think we're screwed on
Get on the
this.
ground right now.
Unless
Get on
they
the
have
ground
it
right now.
elsewhere on like their website or something. Maybe I can find that on like the YouTube or something like that. They ended the stream. They ended the stream. Wait. You can watch.
On the
Yeah, they
morning of
ended the
July-
stream. Okay. That's it, I guess. LATV gave up. Yeah, almost 15 minutes, but not quite. They might know where he lives. Yeah, totally. Totally. I wouldn't be surprised if the police jump back on this, though. That happens often. But I don't know. Wait 2 more minutes? All right, we'll wait a couple minutes. I did the prediction as no, but we'll wait a couple minutes just in case. All right, Thomas, thank you. Have a good rest of your night. Happy birthday. Oh, G20, what's up? Won 1.2K, good deal. I'm soon gonna have stickers that I'll send for channel points, but I have one right here. Actually, you can see it, but the thing is, I don't really like that it's like a matte sticker instead of like glossy, right? So I ordered some already that are glossy. It'll be the same sticker though, same thing, and it'll be glossy, and I'll send them out to people for some channel points, or you can get it from me if you meet me at the TwitchCon. I'll have a bunch of them. All right, I guess I'm going to call it here. If I go live again, it's because they come back to it and we do it again, but I'll go offline for now.